Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and we are the scouting staff for the Hula Bowl. This interview is sponsored by Tijuana Flats. Stop by your local Tijuana Flats to experience some of the best Tex-Mex cuisine, such as burritos, tacos, savory wings, mouth-watering enchiladas, and more. Today I have with me Colby Reeder. He's a linebacker out of Iowa State. Nice to have you on, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jimmy.
So obviously Iowa State really wasn't your first stop. You were at Delaware first, and I'll allow you to kind of walk us through that journey. Set the stage, man. Tell me where you're from, and give me some of that story real quick. Sum that up for me if you don't mind.
All right, so I'm from Delaware, northern Delaware, kind of a suburb of Philadelphia. So coming out of high school, I had some bigger offers, some Power 5 offers. But my brother was at Penn State at the time. He felt like he wanted to transfer. He was thinking about transferring, and I was coming out of high school. So at that time, you could only transfer down and be eligible right away, if you remember, not before all this crazy portal stuff. But so we kind of came to agreement, like, we had really a lot of fun in high school playing together. And we were like, let's reunite at Delaware. My dad played there. We grew up going there. It's basically our hometown team. So he transferred to Delaware. And then like a week later, I was like, all right, screw the big schools. I'm staying home with my brother and family. So I committed to Delaware, and we played a few awesome seasons there, played with a lot of great players, great fan base. It was a fun time. It was my hometown, so you kind of got all the fun publicity and got to represent my state. Then my brother left. We had a number of coaching changes, and for my last year, I was just like, I don't really want to be part of a rebuild. I probably can succeed at a higher level. So for my last year, I just finished and graduated from grad school, and I was like, let's go play big time football, go somewhere that's going to kind of give you the traditional big Power 5 football feel and environments. And another number of schools reached out, a lot of good guys. Tyson Veit from Iowa State kind of came visit me twice, and the time frame was insane. Like, I only 2 weeks to decide really before the dead period. And every school was calling you, like 30 calls a night. It was a whole mess of a couple of weeks, but I got out, visited a couple schools in the short time I had, and I thought Iowa State just was like, felt right. Coaching staff, like being a grad transfer from a school that you started every season with, like I was at Delaware and started every season. So it's like going and leaving, you're like, and it's my last year. It's like, okay, where can I make like an impact right away? Who do I trust and think is like looking out for my interests? And I just felt Iowa State, like Coach Campbell, Coach Haycock is a great defense coordinator. Those guys just I felt they needed me, and I felt like they were also awesome people and had an awesome culture already built around there. So I ended up going there and had a really fun year there. I mean, Iowa loves their football. Crazy fans, crazy atmosphere, and kind of got a taste of like the big time football. And I had success there, and transition wasn't that hard for me just to go to a bigger school. And so transition went well, had a fun season, and here I am now. But yeah, bounced around a little, but it was a fun journey.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you were saying, there, at the top, kind of, wanted to be with your brother for a little bit. Be honest with you, I don't know if I could work with my brother. My brothers, we don't always see eye to eye, but I'm sure there's a lot of competitive, in competitiveness, amongst each other. So, I don't know, how did that work? Like out the gate, did you guys like bump heads or what?
No, we actually have an awesome dynamic as brothers. He's like kind of a little older, more mature. I'm kind of go, 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 like want to fly around and just like tackle guys where he's like super smart, super mental, like kind of like a field general. So like
Sure.
he kind of would like calm me down and just be like, all right, like get your eyes right, get into like we'll watch film. He like kind of taught me how to watch film, how to break down teams, um, and kind of like gave me that more mature side that I've developed in my career. Because originally I was like, I want to run fast, I want to hit everything, I want to do blitz and do all this. And he's like, you gotta get your mental side down. And he was our middle linebacker. I played outside with him. So we were always communicating. I mean, getting in the film room and everything, and we really pushed each other in the weight room and on the field. It was a good like he was an awesome guy to have around. And then he's off in the NFL. He won a Super Bowl last year, and he's been having success. So he continues to kind of feed that knowledge down to me. But he's always been a great like role model and resource for me all growing up. So I mean, playing with him was like a pleasure. I mean, I'm sure I probably got on his nerves more than he got on mine because I'd be asking a million questions and a little bit of the little brother. But he was awesome to have around me.
Well, hey, I mean, it's kind of nice to have a brother who's been there, done that, gives you a little bit
Yeah.
of advice. And at the very least, as long as you guys don't like argue about those sorts of things and you have a semi-decent relationship, um, you're going to end up being there too here very soon. One of the cool things is, we had a chance, as the Hula Bowl staff to scout guys this season, and decided to invite you to this season's Hula Bowl. It felt like you are one of those guys that does fly around a little bit all over the place, not kind of haphazardly or anything like that, but you're able to drop back into coverage and do fairly well. So how would you say, or what would you say is maybe like your best attribute as an NFL prospect, as a player who's just now going to be making that step to the next level?
Yeah, I think honestly it's probably my versatility. Um Through college I've played like four linebacker positions. I've played boundary outside in a 3-4. I've played the field outside in a 3-3 and a 3-4. I've played Mike for a lot of games. I've played Will for a lot of games. I've kind of done it all. Um I mean, I think I have the size to play any of those positions and the speed to play in most of those positions. My coverage skills, I was a safety all growing up through high school even, and then just kind of outgrew it when I got to college, got a little too big,
Sure.
hit the weight room a little too hard. So I've always felt comfortable in space, but I also love being in the box, just getting your like nose dirty and just knocking some spit out some guy's mouth. So I mean, I'm comfortable everywhere, and just kind of the experience of playing all over, I think it's allowed me to develop like a wide range of skills. Like I kind of feel like if you just play like Mike your whole life, or just like Edge your whole life, you just develop those skill sets. Where since I've moved all over, like I feel comfortable rushing. Like I think I'm a good edge rusher and good blitzer, but I also played a bunch in the box, so I'm comfortable like aligning our D line and playing in between pullers and reading running backs. So I feel comfortable in basically any position. So, and I know versatility has been kind of changing the game. Like linebackers are asked to do more things, and I think that'll help me translate to the NFL well.
Yeah, well, obviously that's one of the reasons why we invited you. Like you said, man, you got yourself some great size as an NFL prospect, as a linebacker, approximately 6'3", 240. They'll get out the measuring tape and the scales and stuff and get the exact. But dude, that's a fantastic number that allows you to be put almost anywhere there in the front seven. So it'll be fun to see, you translate to the next level, because the next coach, he might want to put you on the outside, may want to put you on the inside. And while you're, down in Orlando, we may end up throwing you around every which way. So, I mean, we'll see how that comes together. So,
Yeah.
obviously, a guy who has been in a lot of different defenses. When you look at your time spent at Delaware and then at Iowa State, can you somehow compare and contrast those two defenses, and how would you describe them overall?
So I've actually had three, four defensive coordinators in my career. So partially why I'm versatile, but I feel like I've gone a good grasp of different stuff. My first few years I was in a 3-4. Um, so that's a little bit different. That's more of a standard NFL defense. Like you got your edge guys, played some edge, played some middle. Um, at first, our first coordinator wasn't super aggressive, just kind of ran stout, um, a real stout defense without like a lot of pressures, but we were really fundamentally locked in on our keys and our jobs. We had a lot of good players that year. And then my last D coordinator, Delaware, had some 3-4 aspects, but kind of started evolving into the 3-3 style, which has that three high safety look and kind of changes up the fits a lot, honestly, and kind of allows you to bring pressures in a lot different angles and a lot of different coverages, the way they roll safeties and DBs. Um, so that was interesting, and I ended up transitioning to Iowa State, which is the king of the 3-3. Coach Haycock, the DC, basically invented it and at least made it popular, and everyone started trying to copy his. But that was like a whole new animal. Like his understanding of it was insane. I didn't expect so many intricate details. Like he had it down to a science, different fits. We basically adjusted every single formation. We were adjusting in some way. Um, but he really helped me develop my mental side of the game. Just how in tune he was and our coaching staff was with all the little details of the 3-3. It's a unique defense for sure. Like you don't see that a lot, having three eye safeties and linebackers are bouncing back and forth. But it was fun to play, and it's different for sure. But it was effective. We had one of the best defenses in the country. So
Yeah, so like you said, I mean, just want to reiterate the fact that you do bring a whole lot of versatility, and then like you also had alluded to, I mean, you are able to make a lot of different adjustments, like for every play, shifting a little bit here or there. Maybe you're the guy who's rushing, maybe you're the guy who's dropping back. I mean, because like you said, it's a wild, very intricate like defense there that they've been able to put together there at Iowa State. But as a guy who has been adjusting, throughout his career, I know you've gone through a lot of different struggles throughout your career. Making you into the gritty player that you are. Can you maybe I don't know, explain to me one of these times in your life where you did go through adversity, and it made you maybe a better player, a better man? Can you kind of walk me through a particular moment?
Um, well, I mean, adversity wise, I've had my share of injuries, and like most linebackers, probably who started like 50 games in college probably has. But you know, I mean, I'm healthy now, and I feel like you kind of just learn from it. Like when you're sitting out or have something, you really try to develop you gotta keep developing, keep growing, even if you're not physically able to. So whether it's coaching on the sideline, getting your guys going, or whether it's just watching film, continue to learn and break down these offenses, like staying mentally sharp. So when you can come back, you can thrive still. Um, and just really just becoming a pro. I think it's honestly helped me become a better mental at being better mentally football, just like kind of getting like a coaching standpoint, like during games, getting guys ready, getting your backups locked in, kind of talking to the head on the headset with coaches in the box, just seeing what you see, and then also just just continue to develop that mental like film breakdown, trying to call out plays. It kind of helped me just really become a better leader almost when I had to miss a couple games.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know at least in your history, I mean, I know you sat out one season, with an injury, and then after that, then we had COVID. Then we
Mhm.
had this whole pandemic, which threw a wrench into everyone's plans, including mine.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, eventually making your way out to another program, and found some great success. I mean, you've been able to kind of work through some of that, and really become what I would just say is a very all around linebacker, who has the physical tools to do a lot of different things that coaches want. So, um, talk to me just a little bit about that development over the years. Like, I mean, when you first came in, I mean, as a freshman there in Delaware, not every kid has it. They got to go through like their growing pains a little bit. Talk to me how you've kind of grown throughout your time coming in as a freshman, whether it be hitting the weight room hard or whatever, maybe if it's a diet or something. Talk to me about how you've developed over the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, so at the end of I redshirted my freshman season. I was a little skinny. I was a safety transitioning to linebacker. Definitely a little immature. Um, but yeah, like I was skinny and everything, and I had to grow up because I was their guy the next season. So my brother helped me, but it was really like I hit the weight room hard, and I ate like and I'm not a big eater, but I was eating extra, shoving it down. Between my end of my freshman redshirt year, which was like say December, and the start of spring ball, which was March, I put on like 25 pounds in 3 months, and it was like muscle. I was like doing 2 days, grind, grind, grind. Did the team workout. I mean, our strength coach would probably kill me now, but if he knew, but I would do the team workout. I would leave, eat lunch, and then go to the college, the public college weight room, do another 2 hour lift, and then I'd go do skill with my brother at an open field somewhere. But I was probably overtraining a little bit, but I was grinding every day, just to get that muscle and get that weight up and feel like more like a linebacker opposed to like the safety that I've been playing, which helped. And then just continually grow every year. Like in football, there's always stuff to work on. Like especially at linebacker, you do so much between covering, run fits, pass rush, like the mental side of the game. Um, there's just so much things you can work on. I don't even have enough time in the day to do it, but what I love is like keeping it fresh, being super variable with my training, um, being able it keeps things interesting, but also makes you more well-rounded player. Like I love the training pass rush with like we have good pass rush coach by me, so I love Sam Scott, but I love working with him. I have my brother. There's Paul Warlow was an NFL guy. He's a local guy working like real linebacker gritty stuff with them, like hitting pads and tackling sleds. And then also like all the DB stuff is awesome too. Like Darnell Savage from the Packers trains at my facility. So I get to do some safety stuff, reliving some of my safety days. But so I get a real nice variety of drills, which it keeps me interested. Like it keeps me my brain going and keeps me. But I always feel like there's more and more you can do. Like you learn 3 pass rush moves, but there's 4 and 5. You learn different coverage techniques. To me, it's just like fun just to dive into all that stuff, and the more skills you can learn. One thing I always want to tell myself is like, I don't want to ever feel uncomfortable in a situation, no matter what they give me. I want them to be able to like, if you have to cover a receiver out 10 yards outside the box, I want to feel comfortable with it. If they want me to put my hand down as a 5 technique, I want to feel comfortable with it. So that's kind of how I've like trained through my college career, and it keeps
No,
things interesting, but
no,
it's
that's
a fun way.
all that stuff is great. Well, I mean, in the all-star format, we're not going to put you in a 5, but because that's not at least permissible. Sometimes the coaches try to get away with it, but they're not supposed to. But you'll be covering some guys. You'll be covering maybe a tight end or a running back, or maybe a receiver if he's in your if he's in your area, if you're playing zone. I mean, it's certainly possible.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that looks when you come down to Orlando. Do want to ask you really quick. Like you said, I mean, put on a whole lot of muscle during your experience there in the weight room.
Mhm.
Favorite lift, the one that
Ooh.
you're most proud of. I'll just say that.
Oh, geez. I love power cleaning. Um, I like just the whole dynamic movement of it is like, I think it's just awesome. It makes you explosive. I mean, that's how you hit people. You get like bend knee and you just explode up through guys. I don't know if there's any real single lift that can mimic hitting and crushing a guy as much as a power clean does. So I've always been a big power lifter. So yeah, that's probably my top choice.
You got a number on that lift or what? Can you
Uh,
can
the
you,
the
can you
most I've
drop that?
the most I've power cleaned is 385.
That's nice. That's really awesome. I think
Yeah.
that's something a lot of people really need to know. Um, I do want to ask you this one question. I mean, I know you've had a lot of great memories, a lot of great moments at both institutions that you were a part of. Is there maybe one highlight or one particular game that's going to stick in your memory for years to come? I mean, do you have that one play or game that you could just kind of highlight or tell me a little bit about?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think I've had a lot of great memories from Delaware and everything, but this past season, because I never really played in front of these massive stadiums that much at Delaware, but our second game, we're at Iowa. That place was loudest stadium of the year, and we played in some pretty big stadiums because the Iowa State rivalry is like near the top of
Oh yeah.
rivalries. They hate each other, and that place was rocking so loud you can't even like talk to the other linebacker next to you. So you're like doing like hand gestures the whole game. But I don't think we beat them in like 7 years. And they're just gonna bring that gritty football. Like Big 12, we get a lot of spread, a lot of RPO dink and dunk, but Iowa State, I mean, I was gonna line up in 12, 22 personnel and just try to run that ball down your throat.
Oh yeah.
and and I thought it was just so fun, just lining up, and it's just like whoever's gonna be tougher, whoever wants it more is gonna win this game. And it was really just 60 minutes of just drilling each other. I got a pick, I had a TFL, I had a number of plays, which I mean also helps, but we ended up winning as a team as the ultimate goal. And I mean, just in that environment, beating a rival that you hadn't beaten in a while and being able to contribute. I was still a new guy on Iowa State, so a lot of people didn't know what I brought to the table. They knew I was good, but like until you really like ball out in front of like a rival school like that, like kind of like got the fan base's attention, and everyone was like, "Oh wait, this guy's real." And you got to hoist up that trophy. That was an intense game, and I'll never forget that one.
Definitely great. Yeah, I mean those two teams, they beat each other up each and every year. Great that you had those moments really for that particular game. Definitely a game to turn on if people really need to scout you for real, because you, like you said, I mean you did a lot of different things in that game. So do want to meet Colby Reeder outside of football for just a few minutes. Tell me something fun or unique about yourself that maybe not everybody knows, whether that be your own personal interests or hobbies, or if you got something in your life that you're passionate about. Give me something, man, that maybe not everybody knows.
Let's see. I don't know. Two things. One is being out in the Midwest. Like all summer I basically am down the beach up in Delaware. So they didn't really know about that lifestyle, but it's fun. I love doing any like water activities, being out on the shore. But outside of football, even though I lift and train basically all day, I'm also like a little bit of a nerd. I do a ton of trivia with my friends, like trivia games with my friends, and uh, just kind of little nerdy stuff like that. But not just try to, I have a master's degree and everything, so outside of this calloused body, I still got some brains in there. I'd like to think for some of the stuff.
So when you think about like, I don't know, if you're a big trivia guy, what's the one subject that you feel like you're the biggest expert in other than being a football guy? You have like maybe
um,
one subject or something that you feel very confident in if we were to sit here and have a trivia contest?
I don't know. I feel pretty strong in like math and sciences. I usually do good in sports as well, obviously, but but history too. I kind of like, as I'm a football player, I like can do a lot of things pretty well. I'm not expert in anything, uh, but like history and like math is probably my strong. I'm pretty good with.
Well, it sounds like you're a pretty smart guy, man. I mean, when football's done, however many years down the line, like, what do you see yourself doing? I mean, you're smart enough to do almost anything. What is it going to be, man?
That's a good question. I mean, I have my degree in finance. I have an MBA, which and then I have also a grad certificate in entrepreneurship. Um, so it's a little well-rounded too, but I
Sure.
think probably somewhere in business. I'm kind of interested in like commercial real estate stuff, like developing like some of these bigger buildings and like shopping center type stuff, like apartment complexes. Um, so once football's done, hopefully years down the line, I could see myself getting into something like that.
Interesting. Well, I mean, certainly a guy who's fairly well-rounded. And on the field, off the field, knowing a lot of different subjects and stuff and able to apply himself. So I do want to steer back to this whole football thing. I mean, obviously, we felt like you were a good enough athlete that we really wanted you at the Hula Bowl, a guy who I know is going to really do a fantastic job. Like once his pro day comes around and things of that nature, I think you're gonna test out the gym and stuff like whenever people do those things. But you're gonna sit down with a lot of different scouts in a bunch of different interviews, whether it be at the Hula Bowl or after that. And so I want to give you an opportunity to talk to all those scouts right now. Tell those scouts what you would be for their franchise if they took a chance on you, brought you in, maybe draft you, sign you, and what kind of linebacker you'd be for their team.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm hungry, I'm passionate. I come from a football family. I live, breathe. Everything I do is basically football. So I'm a guy that's going to be in the facility first and leave last. Um, and then on the field, I can do it all. Versatility. My numbers will speak for itself. I think I translate well to the NFL through my athleticism and size. But I'm just a football player at heart. Like I'll just go out there. I'll be injured. It'll be raining. It can be a blizzard. I'm just gonna want to try to hit somebody, try to make some plays. I just live, breathe, do everything football. So um, I'm not gonna be one of those guys who are gonna be messing around at the clubs during the week or buying Lamborghinis off rookie contracts. I'm gonna be focused. I'm gonna be every day, same guy, just showing up. I'm gonna be mature. I'm a little older, but I feel like I'm a vet. I feel like I think I'm an older guy, a guy who can step in right away and not really need all the developing that a 20-year-old might need. I think I've developed a lot of skill sets already where I can kind of be a plug and play player, all four special teams type guy who would love just the opportunity to compete through all the special teams. not to, and just, just gritty, just playing anything and everything, whatever they need me to do, and just doing the job as best as I can. That's all I can give you.
Awesome. Well, Colby, definitely feel like you're a great talent. That's why we invited you to the Hula Bowl. So everybody's going to get a chance to see you and several other great athletes at the Hula Bowl on January 14th. That's going to be on CBS Sports Network for people to watch. And Colby, wish you best of luck in this process, man. It's a little crazy, but I think you got a good handle on it.
Yeah, just go enjoy the process, and I can't wait to get down to Florida and play some more ball.
Awesome, man. Well, best of luck to you once again, Colby Reeder, Iowa State linebacker. Definitely check him out.